Hello, and welcome back to What Now on the Threshold of Life, Death, and Grief. I'm here in the studio with my friends and colleagues.
David Kennedy.
And Red Keating.
And I'm Julie Brown, and we're joined for this episode with another friend and colleague, Dr. Natalie Whiting. Welcome, Natalie.
Thanks, Julie.
It is so great to have you here. We are doing the third version of the written word 3.0. We received some very nice feedback from listeners over the seasons we've done this, and we're excited to record another episode bringing forward some of our favorite poems and writings and maybe some originals tonight. I don't know. We'll see where it takes us. Yeah, so happy to have Natalie join us.
Yeah. And Natalie, it is a wonderful privilege to have you here with us. And we all have known you for many years as a palliative physician in this community and have been so involved. And you decided to change direction and retire about a year ago, I believe. And in that process, have focused on some writing and looking at that creative piece in you. So can you tell us a little bit about that switch?
Sure, David, I can. It's been one of the most fun and rewarding parts of retirement thus far. I had always had an interest very early on in my career in sort of the intersection between the humanities and medicine. So writing, reading, close listening, and how that parallels sort of listening to the stories of patients and listening for themes and that kind of thing. But practice and life became very busy. And for many years, I really didn't indulge that interest at all. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, as part of trying to find a way through that very difficult time, I started taking courses at University of Toronto in narrative-based medicine with other care practitioners. And that kind of started to draw me back into the world of reading and writing and looking at texts. And now that I've had a year with a lot more time, I've actually been able to take some creative writing courses.
Beautiful. Oh, that's neat. And what a great way to engage into life that way. And you're right, COVID that time really, in some ways, was a real challenge, but in others gave you a little bit of time to explore too with what's going on. Do you have some writing? So we're kind of putting you on the spot, and really glad that you are here with us. But maybe you could start with something that you've
Sure.
discovered that has come out of this piece for you.
Sure. So most of what I've written so far are short pieces of creative nonfiction or poems. And I think I wrote a series of poems about moments working during the pandemic where I felt like I was shown mercy or offered mercy to other people. And they were kind of moments of beauty or of human connection, just in trying to find that in an otherwise really difficult time. So this is one of those poems, and I'll read it for you now. It's called Haircut. On that day, I left my stethoscope at home and took clippers to work. Normally clean cut, your silvered hair had grown unruly. You spoke of it often when I asked about pain, nausea, breathing. You denied each, and yet you clearly didn't feel yourself. The absence of visitors and the length of your stay had blurred the usual boundaries of daily rounds. I had played telephone operator, tech support, password repository. So it didn't feel unnatural when I wheeled you out to the rooftop garden and set to work. Clippers round the ears, scissors for the crown, bushy brows at the end at your insistence. We joked that YouTube had prepared me well for my new profession and snapped a photo of my attempt. It wasn't perfect, but on that day, it was my best medicine.
Wow, beautiful.
Oh,
The definition of good palliative care.
I was just going to say that. That's, yeah.
you
wow.
just hear the whole, you just hear through that, like the story, it's like I was picturing it because I know what the rooftop garden looks like. And I was just, wow.
Yeah.
Really touched by that.
Yeah, this was a gentleman who I visited every day for many, many, many days. And he was very isolated because his family were not permitted to come more than once a week. And the connection that we formed was very special to me. And this is just an example of one of our days.
Mm-hmm. One of the beauties of that, though, is that you made the choice to leave your stethoscope at home and that you saw that intervention as good doctoring, right? As good care. And I think we sometimes forget that sometimes good care has nothing to do with the body and the medicine, and it has everything to do with the soul and the person as a person.
Yeah, and that medicine, as we typically think of it, it comes in many forms, right? And it's actually a poem by Alice Walker that's called, I believe it's called Medicine. Yeah. That is sort of a little talisman for me that I've kind of carried in my heart, in my practice, to remind myself that medicine can look like a lot of different things.
Beautiful.
Do you have that poem?
I do.
Could you read
Do
it?
you want to hear it too?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I did not write this poem.
Yeah.
This is by Alice Walker, who's a very well-known African-American author who also wrote The Color Purple. Yeah. It's very short. It's called Medicine. Grandma sleeps with my sick grandpa, so she can get him during the night medicine to stop the pain. In the morning, clumsily, I wake them. Her eyes look at me from underneath his withered arm. The medicine is all in her long, unbraided hair.
Beautiful. And we've talked about this on so many occasions with everybody involved, that how this work is really, it begins with our common humanity and the acknowledgement that as in this medicine is all of these things. And wow, that's great.
Thank you for letting me start.
Well, you just hearing both of these poems has reminded me of why I love doing this episode so much and why we're doing it for the third time. Yeah, I can feel it in my heart.
Well, I have one in honor of Red because he always brings the lyrics to music, and so I thought I would.
And
beat
I
him.
didn't today.
You didn't,
I haven't
so
brought any
I'm
lyrics
filling
today.
in for you. This was written by a friend of mine, and he was in his mid-40s, and his wife. They don't live in Peterborough, but I knew both of them from a few years prior, and his wife contracted cancer, and she passed away after about a year and a half. And they have 2 teenage children. But Jonathan was a very musical fellow and played and wrote. And about 6 months after his wife died, he sent me this song. And he said, I wrote this. And he played it for me. I won't sing it for you tonight. That would be disastrous. But I'll read you the words. It's called Half Wonderful. You ask me how I am. You ask me how it's going. I don't know what to say, except that I'm okay. The days are passing by. The weeks and the months, they fly. If I'm honest, I guess I can say I'm half wonderful, half figuring it out. Do you have some time to hear the truth? Am I going to unload everything on you? Are you that interested if I'm less than okay? If I'm honest, I guess I have to say I'm half wonderful and half figuring it out. Look in these eyes. Stay for a while. Show that you really care. Some days I'm good. Some days I'm sad. Most days I'm half wonderful and half figuring it out.
I like that he asks, do you really have the time to hear the truth?
Yeah. That
how are you
comes from
doing? We never
experience,
want to hear how they're really. I'm doing great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the time to really hear how I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Red. And I think, we know that, but to hear that coming from his experience, right? Yeah.
Thanks, David. Okay, I'll share a poem. This is one I stumbled across quite recently, and I marked it, and I have gone back and read it like 10 times, and then I just decided today, okay, this is one of the ones I want to bring today. It is by a poet that I have just come to know, and more because I saw his poem, and then I went and did some research on him. His name is James McCrae, and this poem is called Instructions Before Visiting Earth. In the event that you wake up and find your soul separated from source and manifest into material form, don't panic. Your condition is only temporary. You have been selected for the opportunity of human incarnation. This 3D simulation is designed to break up the monotony of eternity by giving you a fully immersive experience as a distinct ego identity. Your body will serve as your physical avatar as you navigate a dense and dramatic reality. There will be many distractions causing you to forget your true nature and origin. You will experience a range of emotions from joy to loneliness to despair. But remember, no matter what trials and traumas you encounter, your soul remains perfectly safe. At times you may feel lost or afraid. This is totally normal. If you ever need guidance, simply slow down your busy mind and bring your awareness to the quiet place inside yourself. On this planet, nothing is permanent. People and things will come and go. You will fall in love and form sentimental attachments only to lose everything you hold dear. So cling to nothing tightly, even yourself. And when it's time to let go with grace, for nothing is owned, only borrowed. As you walk among the people on the planet, try to be a good guest. Tread lightly. Remember that you are only visiting. Don't make a mess. Listen more than you speak. Give more than you take. Don't keep your soft heart locked inside a glass cage, protected from wear and tear. You'll never make it out alive, and time passes quickly. So come back with some battle scars and good stories to tell.
Wonderful.
You can see why I was attracted to it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love the juxtaposition between, it starts out with this 3D simulation and your physical avatar with kind of like that reference to our increasingly technological world. But the message in it, of course, is all really some of the basic tenets of Buddhism and the 5 remembrances, right? Mm-hmm. Everything we hold dear, we will lose. We are of the nature. Mm-hmm. And so I love the message about, our essential, like, impermanence, our attachments, and how so much of our work is letting go of our attachments. And also just that idea of, like, don't worry, your soul is still safe.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for letting me share.
Well, I brought a non-lyric. It's a bit of a long one, if that's okay. It's a poem by Andrea Gibson.
Oh, yes.
She's an American poet. People know her. They're shaking their heads. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Andrea died this year, July 14th at the age of 49. So I would say, bear with me on this one. This one comes from one of her books called You Better Be Lightning. It's called Timepiece, and I hope I can get through it without flubbing up too much. I've never known who Nick is. I'd show up just in the stranger of time, sift every grain of sand from the Pacific coast into an hourglass that fits into my palm. I turn the hourglass upside down, and Vancouver trades places with San Diego. When they ask how I covered the wildfires and snow, I say I had time on my hands. My grandfather was a clock who stopped before I met him. I've heard he was so kind you could look into his face and know you'd never be late for anything. My mother is still a little girl, riding on his shoulders. Time flies and she reaches up to pluck feather pens from its wings so I can write this life down. I try, but it doesn't stay down. It keeps flying so fast I count my wrinkles the way I used to count sheep. When the number gets high enough, I'm told I'll fall asleep forever, but I once watched a woman skip her gravestone across a lake like a smooth pebble. Death hops if you let it go at the right time. The Buddha says, the right time is always now. My father calls me on the phone, and before I can say hello, asks, do you know what Steve Jobs said the instant before he died? He said, wow. Time is money, but the end of money is wow. My friend wakes up at noon, goes to bed at 8, wants less time because she wants less pain. I understand. I've been there too. I can spot a scar beneath a wristwatch 100 yards away. And no, it's not the weak who try to clock out early. It's people who are desperate to go home. Einstein says time is relative. Says the higher you get above sea level, the faster time goes. I live in Colorado. My house is over a mile into the sky. All day I hear the wheels of time burning rubber on the clouds. My life in a getaway car, racing toward the border, which is an invisible line. I only call death when I forget how to speak eternity's language. Forget that to run out of time is to run into the truth that none of us has ever been our bodies. If we were, how would we fit in each other's hearts? To make up for lost time, you don't need to know why time went missing or what kidnapped it, or if its face was on the back of a milk carton for over 15 years. To make up for lost time, you need to only put down the grudge you are holding so you can pick up the phone and say, how many days did we need each other at the same time without knowing it? Bitterness is the easiest way to leave the world having only had a near-life experience. My partner and I have hard days, hard months, but time stops when you're in love. So I'm the same age when we met 5 years ago. She makes time for me with her hands, builds a watch from the silver hair that hasn't grown in my hair. Beside her, I've learned the only real way to waste time, to drag the seconds to the curb, to fill the landfill with minutes, is to let my body be a time capsule. I forget to put my heart in. Don't forget to put your heart in. Regret is a time machine to the past. Worry is a time machine to the future. Gratitude is a time machine to the present. No one books my travel for me. I decide where I want to go. I decide if I will be a sculptor carving out time the way Michelangelo carved the statue of David. After 2 other artists gave up on the same block of marble, citing its poor quality and impossible bitterness. All time is quality time. Don't abandon your chisel, believing it's not. No matter how it looks, you and everyone you know have hourglass figures. Each breath a falling grain of sand. To truly live is to see right through the skin to the avalanche. If we never deny the inevitable end of the story, we will write it more beautiful while we're alive.
Wow. What attracted you to that? What is it that stood out for you in that one?
Well, it's a long journey. There's a journeyness to it, and I did instantly sort of get attracted to the part where she says, I only call death when I forget how to speak eternity's language. Forget to run out of time is to run out into the truth that none of us have ever been our bodies. If we were, how would we fit in each other's hearts? Mm-hmm. And I mean, that just jumped off the page when I was reading it. And I just love the fact that so many people are in all of our hearts, you know, and it isn't their body. It's who they are. It's their spirit. It's love. And then it just was a nice sort of, life can be hard and it's difficulty and it's painful. And I love the other piece in it about where she talks about regret, or not regret, bitterness and holding resentment and things like that, and how that just weighs us down. And if we just let it go, how we could live better.
I loved that phrase. She used, the near life experience.
Yes. We're living our life in bitterness. Is it bitterness? Yeah, bitterness.
I love the line, gratitude is a time machine to the present.
Yeah.
That strikes me as a poem that you could read, every day for a month.
Right.
And depending on your day, you would pull something different out of the poem.
Yeah.
There's so much in there.
Yeah, it was hard to read. It's a long poem. My mouth went dry, but I'm sorry if it was too long. But there were so many, for me, there's so many little interesting little bits, and you keep reading, and then you hit another one. And it's not a long line of really interesting bits, but it is over time, right? You hear it differently, as you were saying, Natalie. The next time you read it, you're going to hear something different in it. And it's just some of that imagery was what struck me.
Natalie, do you have another one for us?
I do have another one for us. So this one might follow David's, I think. Follow Red's. Just because part of that was about how parts of life are difficult. And she was talking about how her partner sort of holds her during those times. It stitches her back together. So this is a poem that I wrote. It's called Broken Days. And David's heard this one, I think. On broken days, I will hold you in the palm of my hand. All of your pieces. The soft ones that lay weary and motionless. The sharp ones that tear at my skin. The ones that wriggle away through the cracks in my fingers. The ones that hide beneath the others in shame. I will try to hold them and love each one in equal measure, not just the ones that shine and glint in the sun, until you are ready to knit them back to a new whole, and then I will wait to hold them again.
I want to ask you so much about that.
Oh dear.
Is there anything you want to share about the inspiration for that poem?
Well, the inspiration it's a bit fun, actually. One of the things that came out of taking some of these online writing courses is that I connected with a group of women who I write with every second week now. And one of the things that we do with each other is to create a prompt for the group to stimulate us to write a little bit together. And this poem came out of one of those prompts, which was actually of a very elderly gentleman who was an artist, and his daughter was trying to convince him to get rid of a very broken chair. And he was describing the beauty in the chair and why he really needed to hold on to it. And so it's funny what comes out of these prompts. You can go any direction. And that poem came out of that.
Yeah, and I love that idea of holding the smooth pieces, the sharp pieces, all of the things. That's our total. We don't get to just hold the things we like, right? If we're really being who we need to be for people. Yeah.
That's right. You don't get to choose.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to hold it all.
You have to be willing to collect it all and hold it. Yeah.
Well,
I love that.
That's what I was thinking as I was hearing it is, when people ask us about how can you do this work and palliative work, I was thinking, well, it's because of the beauty we can see sometimes, hopefully, of how people can hold it all in their hands for their person who's dying, right? Holding it all. Yeah.
Yeah. And all the parts are important. Like the sharp parts, the smooth parts, they're all required. And they're all what make up the whole experience.
Yeah, you can't pick and choose. No. Someone asked me, who am I writing that poem for? And you know what? It's like the Andrea Gibson poem. It depends on the day.
Right.
It's for someone different all the time.
Yeah. Well, I have one that I wasn't sure if I was going to read it, but it's kind of picking up on your comments, Julie, about that letting go and just holding lightly. And this is one, and I don't know this person. I've never read anything other than this from her. Safri Rose is her name. It's just called She Let Go. And I don't know, it's always intrigued me since the first time I read it. So I keep coming back to it, and maybe it's the same idea that depending on the day, you might read it differently. She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of fear. She let go of judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons, wholly and completely. Without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her daytimer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step mind treatment. She didn't call a line for help. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it's just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be, and a smile came across her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. Yeah, so many things to let go of. Mm-hmm. So many opportunities in life to either hang on to them or to let go. And I think the simplicity of that reoccurring phrase just kind of stays with me.
It reminds me of a quote from John Kabat-Zinn when he writes about letting go. And I can quote it because I often have to repeat it to myself for the practice of letting go. He says, letting go is a way of letting things be, is accepting things as they are. And not how we wish they would be, right? And that idea of, as I hear that poem, of, I mean, that is the practice as humans as we move through our life, hopefully, is we're letting go of things all the time, of letting go of our attachments to how we wish things would be or how, that person was or how I am today, because there's freedom that lies there for us. But it is this very conscious practice. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Thank you.
It reminded me of, I think it was Leo Buscaglia wrote The Fall of Freddie the Leaf. It's a children's book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
very much about
that's true.
A young leaf growing up.
Yeah.
And his mom, it's all good in the summer, but then the fall comes and it gets cold and the wind starts to blow and the leaves start to fall and that's death, that's dying. And he asks, will it hurt? And she says, no, it's just letting go. Mm-hmm. And when he finally lets go, he's a little bit afraid. He finally lets go and he floats down and he looks back up and then he sees all of the sky. He's the world. It's
the
different perspective.
Yeah.
It's just like I've died and now I have another perspective and it's so much bigger, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a neat little book. Great little kid's book.
It is a great book.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a kid's book, but it's written as a kid's book. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love the humor in that too, David.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it kind of mocks the way we often live our lives, where we plan and we analyze and we look things up.
And we think we need a plan.
We try to make the best plan and we,
maybe that's what attracted me. I don't know. But
it's like, just let go, right? Instead of thinking that we need to make it more complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have something, Julie?
I do, because it wouldn't really be the written word without something from our friend, John O'Donohue, right?
Of course.
Like, are we really going to go through an episode without... and this is from his book, Anam Cara. I hope I'm saying that right. think this is at the very end of the book. It's called A Blessing for Death. I pray that you will have the blessing of being consoled and sure about your own death. May you know in your soul that there is no need to be afraid. When your time comes, may you be given every blessing and shelter that you need. May there be a beautiful welcome for you in the home that you are going to. You are not going somewhere strange. You are going back to the home that you never left. May you have a wonderful urgency to live your life to the full. May you live compassionately and creatively and transfigure everything that is negative within you and about you. When you come to die, may it be after a long life. May you be peaceful and happy and in the presence of those who really care for you. May your going be sheltered and your welcome assured. May your soul smile in the embrace of your Anam Cara. And the Anam Cara, right, I think it translates to soul friend.
Yes,
Yeah.
soul friend. Mm-hmm. The Celtic spirituality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love the way he, of course, the whole book, and it's a book of blessings is the idea. We don't think of those tough things of life in the same sentence with the word blessing. And not that they are, but there's a blessing that I think comes with every experience of our life, that if we can hear it.
And I just love that he wove in there, of course, it's called a blessing for death, but it's really a blessing for life, right?
Mm-hmm,
When he says, may you have a wonderful urgency to live your life to the full. Mm-hmm. May you live compassionately and creatively. It's also because, of course, it's about your life because, it's not one or the other, right? And it's that, when we turn towards our death, we are turning towards our life, right?
Well, I wasn't sure how many poems to bring, and I had brought 2 Andrea Gibsons, and I was only going to read one. And I don't have anything else except, if I could be so bold, I've never done this before, Natalie, either, but this is a poem I wrote in January 2023.
Oh, thank goodness. You're going to keep me company.
I will try that as well. And I had another one that I'm presently working on, but it's not finished yet, so I didn't want to read it. But I think this kind of goes along with the themes that are happening here and about the fullness of life or the specialness of life. Anyway, here it goes. It's called Dune. Stepping down onto the red sand, smiling servers offer champagne. White shirts, black ties, black pants, penguins in the desert. Gently guided to the crest of a dune, a reception hall sculpted by nature, we mix and mingle in the space between dusk and twilight. Uluru on one side, Katajuda the other, the setting sun dividing the difference. We mix and mingle, different cultures, different tongues. Standing in the fullness of this eternal landscape, stillness comes to rest in this sacred space. Awe and privilege descend in a wave of recognition with the full weight of creation. Grounded in my smallness and insignificance, a speck in this vast emptiness, humility exhales, released skyward on wings of gratitude.
Well, that was a wonderful, unexpected surprise.
Yeah.
Thank you, Red.
Thank you, Red. That was, I guess that was just inspired. That happened. So we went out for a lovely dinner in the middle of the desert in Australia. And
it just happens.
It just, it was just one of those awe-inspiring moments where you just felt how big the world was and how huge creation was and how insignificant you are, or I am at least. And it just felt incredibly powerful. Yeah.
Do you find that, Natalie, that those moments of inspiration just kind of come?
Yes, I do. Not very often yet, but increasingly often as time goes by. But yeah, I have to have the headspace for it to happen.
And we need some space for that, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you fill up all the existing space, there just isn't opportunity for
Yeah.
your brain to do that, at least not for me.
But it's important, and I'm aware of that when we do have those moments, it is so important to write it down, isn't it? And not to just let it go, and because we forget it if we don't have that discipline to say, no, I need to write something. So thanks, Red, for doing that.
Red.
But it reminds us that when we do find ourselves in those moments, that we need to write those down.
And so on that note, as we begin to wrap up this episode, I'm hoping you'll help us close with something, Natalie.
Okay.
But if I could ask you a question around, I'm just thinking for listeners who have heard your poems and Red's and who may, who might go, oh, I'm not creative or I'm not a writer, but maybe have that interest, because we so often close down our own creativity, right? Because sometimes I think we define what creativity is very narrowly. Do you have any advice from your own journey, like moving into giving yourself space and exploring creative writing and writing poems? What have you learned about it?
Well, I would say I'm very early in my learning. I'm certainly not providing these words with any level of expertise. But I think what I have found is that probably for a lot of us, like me in medicine, a lot of our work is about kind of drilling down and being reductive and trying to get to, for me, it would have been the correct diagnosis or the right treatment plan, and what I have found is amazing about just dipping my toe into writing is that things kind of go in the opposite direction. So once you do it, just a little wee bit, you have these moments where you read something that you wrote and you realize, oh, I thought that was about X. It's actually about Y.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like instead of your brain narrowing in on something, it just opens up.
It's expansion.
And it's such an incredible feeling. And so I think that the key to it, though, is that if I didn't have anything on the paper, however terrible it might be, there's no opportunity for that to happen.
Right.
And so you have to just really work at silencing your inner critic. And just write something down, and just whether in whatever way works for you, a prompt, a journal, with friends, in the middle of the desert.
Good. Well, just before you get to yours, we do have to include a little snippet of Mary Oliver.
Oh.
I mean, it wouldn't be a written word without.
Okay.
And I love the beginning, and I'm just going to read the first few lines of her Snow Geese piece. But this one has stayed with me for so long. Oh, to love what is lovely and will not last. Oh, what a task to ask of anything or anyone, and yet it's ours. And not by the century or by the year, but by the hour. Yeah. To love what is lovely, and it will not last. That's the task.
Impermanence. Thank you.
Well, I think you're looking at me to close
finish
this
off.
down. I'm going to
Take us out, Natalie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read something of my own this time. I'm going to read something from Richard Wagmes from his book Embers, which actually was given to me by David. Time is an ocean, present and eternal. We are adrift on that ocean of possibility, you and I, and the miracle is that we find each other at all. Maybe it's age that keeps me scanning the horizon looking for you, waving, bobbing in that sustaining current, because I want to hold eternal moments closer now. We move through time and space separately, and the mystery of our meeting is time's gift to us. Swim with me now. We have no other chance.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you, Natalie.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to What Now? On the Threshold of Life, Death, and Grief. What Now is produced in partnership with Hospice Peterborough, dedicated to providing compassionate care and support to individuals and families facing life-limiting illness and loss. What Now is recorded at Thin Spaces Studio in Peterborough, Ontario. Special thanks to Paradise Garage for providing the music. Technical support is provided by Sean Heichert and audio engineering by Kevin Fleming. More episodes of What Now are available for free on most major podcast platforms. If you found value in our conversations, please support us by following, leaving a 5-star review, and sharing with your friends and loved ones. If you'd like to support the essential work of Hospice Peterborough, please consider visiting hospicepeterborough.org/donate. Your contribution helps us to continue to provide vital care and support. Until next time, may you find peace and comfort on your journey.